Hello, this is JC Sendon and welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. This is a video going out to Remoaners, whatever you would class yourselves, FBPEs or just gullible twats. I personally think that's just my personal opinion.
Michael, what about Alistair's point that if Parliament can't agree to whatever deal is done, or there is no deal, or it votes against no deal as well, if Parliament can't make up its mind, why not put it back to the people?
Well, Alistair said that he thinks referendums are a bad idea and then argues for another one. So, I mean, no, sorry, I think you've made yourself sound ridiculous because to say they're a bad idea and then say you want another one.
It was a bad idea to have one.
You need to let Michael speak.
Okay.
It's perfectly clear you want another one because you didn't like the result of the last one.
I want to get in conversation with you guys more on a one-to-one basis. So this is for you. I want to ask you why you're more gullible than the likes of us Brexiteers. Why is it that you believe the stuff that's out there in reference to sandwiches, for instance, not being able to fly through Europe?
Jim, if I can just start with you in Salford, what does no deal mean for you for the sandwich industry?
I don't think it means absolutely no sandwiches because our industry is very creative and clever at coming up with new recipes, but certainly there would be serious problems in terms of some of the fresh ingredients we bring in from the European Union and also from overseas, particularly if we have problems at the ports and we can't get ingredients through.
Marcus Fish, you're going to tell the director of the British Salmon Association he's just deploying Project Fear.
Well, I think silly season has obviously started a bit early this year.
Why? A fortnight to go for the UK to hold a referendum on whether it should remain or leave the European Union. Prime Minister David Cameron says leaving the European Union may mean dangerous consequences, including loss of jobs and safety in the UK.
Is jobs, because it's all about our access to a market of 500 million people. That's one of the reasons why India is investing so much in Britain, creating so many jobs in Britain, and we need access to that market.
Why do you still believe this, even though this has all been told before with the whole euro? It was told in 1975 when they had the EEC referendum.
Therefore, now what do they say? What is the message that comes now? No longer to tell the British people about the goodies that lie there. No longer that. That won't wash, will it? Because the evidence will no longer support it. And so the message that comes out is fear, fear, fear.
It was told in 2016 with this referendum. Why you still believe in it? Because look, if you look at it just logically, okay, they said it when we didn't join the euro that everything was going to crash, and it was the same sort of circumstance, okay? Nothing happened. In fact, we done much better than what Europe was doing at the time. They had the 1975 referendum and they done exactly the same things. They started coming out with the scaremongering, okay? So 1975, the euro, 2016, if you was to vote outside, so if you was to vote to leave the EU, just purely on the vote, that the whole hundreds of thousands of people would be unemployed, the economy would crash, Armageddon, basically. And nothing's happened. Now, the same things are being regurgitated again before we leave the EU. And you guys are still believing it. It's the same economists, it's the same Bank of England, it's the same media, it's the same celebrities.
The hardest part about Brexit is the borders. As part of the European Union, the United Kingdom's borders have been relatively open for years.
Being able to control borders, so we don't have so many low-skilled people coming in, hence lowering the wages. These are my points. £10 billion a year going to the EU. The EU wanted to go federal. So what I don't understand, and I'd love you to be able to tell me, please do this, explain to me why you're the gullible ones when the stuff that you believe right now is the same stuff they told you before. Or is it that you're just forgotten or not actually done your homework?
If you look around the world today I listened to Gough Whitlam and his 14 million Australians, and he trades heavily with Japan. I'm very fond of the Australians. But do you think he's going to enter into a relationship with Japan, which gives Japan the right to make the laws in Australia? Do you think Canada, 22 million of them, and to the south, a great and friendly nation? Yes, they are. But do you think Canada is going to allow its laws to be written by the 200 million people in some union in America? No, of course not. The whole thing is an absurdity, and therefore I urge you to reject it. I urge you to say no to this motion.
We get the carrots, but they get the stick.
If we were to make our own laws based on the politicians that we've elected ourselves, we are in a much better place to repeal anything that has an adverse effect on us.
The likelihood is I'll be working for either an entrepreneur or a small to medium-sized business, and the EU doesn't work for those. They work for the big banks, they work for the big corporations who lobby at EU level. I think the EU is fundamentally anti-democratic. We'd be stronger outside. A stronger democracy means a stronger economy.
I think some people want to remain in the EU because, well, there's a lot of brainwashing in our schools and colleges telling them to think that way.
Particularly young people forget that before the EU we were able to travel to various different EU countries and trade with them, and that we don't need the EU to allow us to do that.